Against Whitcup for Massena. We're underway, and right off the face-off, the puck right in front of the scorer's table, dumped in Massena territory, stopped behind the net by Meacham, picked up there by Lazzari, flips it on the backhand, moving it along the boards. Devils trying to poke check it in the zone, but it slides out to center ice. And here comes Whitcup down the right side. Has it taken away by a back-checking forward. The puck in behind the net, racing in after it is Dylan Kinch, rips it around the boards. Levine steps in front of it there for Massena, ties it up along the boards. It squirts free. Whitcup has it knocked away to the blue line, kept in at the point by Lazzari to Whitcup. Whitcup flips it in the corner. In behind the net, it goes to Garvey. Garvey battles for it along with Levine. Whitcup's in there throwing his weight around. Levine, there's a big battle for it in behind the net. Drew Johnson is back there. Bodies are flying, and finally the whistle blows. They tie it up. We'll have a face-off, and a pretty good shift for that line.
Excellent shift, and number 20, Scott Wilson, playing the right side. Drew Johnson at center. Ryan Morley on the left side for the Devils. If he could have chipped the puck by the Raider defenseman who was frozen up on the blue line, it would have been a 2-on-1 break. But again, those little things, he had the opportunity to chip it by it and failed to do so.
It will be Duvall's line out there now against the Wood line. The Raiders pinching in, though, and stealing it away. Here's Job. Job back to the point. Here's a shot by Horan, deflected just wide. Puck in the corner. I think Converse got a stick on it. In behind the net it goes. Andy Duvall after it. Flips it to the blue line. It bounces off a leg and out to center ice. Nick Toth after it. He'll go to Horan on the other side. Horan back to Toth, right in front of the net. Massena zone. Toth rips it around the boards. Picked up by Converse. Headman on the stick of Wood. Wood looking for Job. Job in on the off wing, trying to beat the defenseman. Gets by one. Here's Job knocked down at the last second. He ends up in the net. The puck bounces free in the corner. And around the horn, the Devils look to clear it, and they do out to center ice. Converse is right there to dump it right back in the zone. Raiders get that third line out there. As Ramo over the boards. Michaud out there as well. And coming out as well is Ryan DeLille. Almost steals the puck in front of the net. Drops it free. It bounces around and it poke checks back to the blue line. Sidden is there to dump it back in the corner. It came out, so Raiders have to get onside. In behind the net it goes. Picked up by Dylan Kinch. Kinch right in front of his own net. He's going to bounce it ahead on the wing. It goes to Jordan Spears. Spears feeding it ahead for Corey McClear. McClear, he has a shot, but it goes off a couple of legs and into the corner Massena zone. In behind the net it goes. Raider territory. After it there is Rick Stevenson. Stevenson loses it. Ramo will drop it back in the corner. Trying to flip it ahead of the blue line. Not out of the zone. Here's a shot fired wide. Puck around the boards. In the corner. Ogdensburg controlling. It pokes free in behind the net. Ramo around the boards for Hatch. Hatch trying to move it ahead to Michaud. Now Ramo. Ramo just banks it off the boards out to the neutral zone. Dumped right back in the zone by Ogdensburg. Stopped by Meacham. He'll leave for Sidden. Sidden for Massena. Looks up ice and goes up over the glass into the stands. And we'll have a face-off. 12:06 remaining. First period, no score.
OFA coach Dave Barlow, former mentor of Ed Latham, the Raider coach, and Coach Barlow's had a tough time against his former pupil because he hasn't had a victory over Ed Latham. The Devils go back, I think it's, let's see, way back in 1997, December 10th, 1997, before they got a victory over the Raiders.
Off the draw, here's a shot. Meacham makes a save, gives up a big rebound, but is cleared in the corner by Wood, or Robbie Whitcup, rather. Whitcup trying to clear the zone. He doesn't. Kept in there by the Devils, and it bounces in front. Shot, Meacham save. Good opportunity there right in front of the net by Scott Wilson. Back to the point. A shot way wide taken from the blue line by Boyer, and the Raiders clear it out to center ice. Intercepted there by Drew Johnson. He tries to flip it ahead to Ryan Morley. Morley's pass knocked away. Back to the red line. Back in the zone it comes Boyer. Knocked away right at the blue line. Back out to the neutral zone. Whitcup feeding it to Catanzarine. He'll take it wide right side. He's bodied into the boards by Boyer. And Boyer comes away with a puck as the Raiders in the middle of the line change. Wood trying to forecheck, but Boyer clears it ahead to Spears. Headman pass. Hard check thrown by Converse. Picking up the puck, Joe trying to barge his way through. And it's taken away on the back check by Duvall. Leaves it in behind the net for defenseman Kinch, who moves it along the boards down to the Massena, to the red line rather. Dump back to the blue line of Ogdensburg. Boyer picks it up, flips it ahead to the Massena blue line. Now they're battling between the blue lines. The puck comes free. Wood has it swept away. Following up is Job. He can't come up with it. Bounce pass comes to the Massena line. Kevin Horan. He'll drop it on the other side for Leduc. Leduc getting forechecked there. Some pressure by Duvall. Duvall trying to steal the puck. He gets it in behind the net, trying to escape a check. Circles back the other way. He's still got it. Duvall centering pass right in front is cleared in the corner and dumped around the boards. Duvall again bounces it in behind. They move it all the way back to the point and all the way down the ice as it went right between the two defensemen. Coming way out of the net to clear it is Bixby out to center ice. Bouncing puck at the red line. Poked ahead momentarily by DeLille. Now back to the Massena line. It comes to Horan. Kevin starts out. Looks up ice. He's going to carry it. Here's Horan. He builds a head of steam and then dumps it from the red line. In behind the net, Bixby stops at the OFA goaltender. Flipping it around the boards. Devils try to move it ahead to the blue line, and it just gets out to center ice. Ramo has it knocked away. Gets it back again. Flips it deep in Ogdensburg territory. Behind the net, Mike Garvey for the Berg. Flips around the boards on the wing. Stolen away. Michaud. Aaron behind the net. Circles. Lost it off the end of his stick. Tries to center. DeLille shot. Save made. And a good chance for the Raiders. But Andy Bixby stands tall and holds on for the faceoff.
Aaron Michaud really coming into his own this last 4 or 5 games for the Raiders. Picked up a puck in the corner to the right of Bixby and a lot of speed, went in behind the net and threw it out to number 6 out there, DeLille, young Ryan DeLille, and he had a glorious opportunity but couldn't try to go short side, couldn't beat Bixby.
Face off left side of Bixby in the Ogdensburg zone. Michaud will take the draw. Ramo out there in the trigger spot. DeLille as well, Sidden and Hatch. And off the draw, the puck in the circle. And Ramo gets a shot off, but it's wide. Puck goes in the corner, DeLille after it. Has it knocked away. There's a battle, comes to the blue line and out to center ice. Here comes the Berg, Drew Johnson. Johnson takes it. He's got a man free, tries the center. It's knocked down, gets a follow-up, and it goes in behind the net. Raiders pick it up, Sidden. The C's kind of parted right there, and what should have been a 2-on-2 ended up being a 2-on-1. And the Devils, though, could not convert. Ramo trying to flip it ahead to DeLille. DeLille battling for it. Sidden right in front of the penalty box battling for it as well. It squirts free, and it's picked up there by Drew Johnson. Johnson's head man on the wing to Scott Wilson. He'll dump it deep, and the Berg wants a change. Puck around the boards. After it is Brian Hatch circling out of his own end. Here's Hatch. Looks ahead, goes on the wing, nobody there as Massena making a change as well, getting that Whitcup line out there. The puck out to center ice. Comes to Nick Toth. Toth banks it ahead. Chris Levine. Levine drops it back. Ike Bogosian to Levine, flips it right to the Ogdensburg line, right back out again. Bogosian knocks it down, gets a piece of it. Here's Levine. Levine feeds Catanzarite a little bit too far. Adam chasing it, he's going to catch up with it. He can't catch up with it. And we're going to have a whistle as falling on top of it is Bixby. And I think Catanzarite just had his stick lifted, couldn't put the stick on it.
Andy Bixby, only a sophomore, and showing that inexperience, he had an opportunity to glove the puck and hold it right off the bat, and he elected to let it lay out in front of the paddle there and created some indecision for his defenseman. But Andy Bixby up in OFA had an excellent game, Jerry, just outstanding in that 3-1 Raider victory.
It'll be Adam Wood out there to take the face-off. He'll face off against Drew Johnson. Ogdensburg zone, left side off the draw. Puck in the corner. Bouncing and tied up again. We'll do it all over again. No score on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. We are down to 8:31 left in the first period. Massena Ogdensburg at the Massena Arena.
We mentioned back December 6th was that first game played up in the Golden Dome.
Seems like a long time ago. In behind the net, Wood with it, looks to center, has it knocked away by the Ogdensburg defense. Moving out of the zone, here comes Dylan Kinch. Headman by everybody into the Massena zone, and Meacham was waiting for an icing, but that was not called. Puck around the board, stolen in front, the shot, save made, rebound, puck goes into the corner, and Meacham got battled on that play as well. Raiders moving it around the horn, trying to clear the zone. The puck tied up at the blue line. Here's a shot, deflected. Whoa, that went just wide. They had a man free in front of the net. Blue Devils trying to center. They got a guy free, gets knocked down to the blue line. The shot, save made, and it's kicked into the corner by Meacham. Raiders clear it ahead to the blue line, but not out of the zone. The Devils, they've got a chance. Here's a shot, fired wide. A good opportunity there. Now the puck bounces in behind the net. Job can't control it. Devils trying to move it to the 45. Out by the blue line. There's a battle for it there. Finally, it's cleared out to center ice as the Raiders with all kinds of trouble. Michaud trying to come off the bench, can't. And the puck dumped into the Massena zone right on Meacham, and he's going to cover up and hold on. Ragged play right there for Massena. Just couldn't get the puck out of the zone.
Raiders running around in their own zone, poor defensive zone coverage, and they have exhibited some of that in the last couple of games, especially that 8-6 loss over in St. Lawrence Central, giving up having twice given up 2-goal advantages, but that time number 8, Drew Johnson, was creating havoc for the Devils.
Around the boards it goes. Raiders with the Ramo line out there. To the blue line, here's a shot, knocked out. Woo, knocked down in front, but cleared out to the neutral zone. Back in the zone, but the Raiders are going to clear it anyway. Here comes Horan. Lugs it right down, gets a quick snapshot off wide. Michaud after it in the corner. He tries to flip it around. It goes back toward the blue line. Michaud's got it. Trying to center it right across the goal mouth, but nobody there from Massena. Racing after it is Eric Boyer, moves it to the blue line. It trickles out to center ice. Michaud is there to dump it right back in. Boyer, he'll try the other side. Passes over to his partner Weirs, moves it ahead just across the blue line. And there's a battle right in front of the Ogdensburg bench. It squirts free back inside to Ogdensburg territory. Weirs to Boyer. Boyer's headman pass out to the neutral zone. There's a battle there, and the puck trickles to Aaron Michaud. Michaud turns it around. Looks nice headman to DeLille. Here's DeLille busting in right side. Winds up. Save made. Rebound bouncing in front. Nobody there. And the puck bounces to the blue line. Colin Lazare with it. Off the glass. Trying to knock it down. He's got it. Here's Lazare. Looks to center. It's intercepted. But it comes to Michaud. Skates by a check. Here's Michaud taking it wide in the corner. Centering pass right in front. Shot. And score a goal! The Raiders get the first goal, and who is that? Whitcup?
Robbie Whitcup picking up the goal. Good pressure, excellent pressure, that line of Whitcup. DeLille and Michaud out there. Ryan Ramo had already made a change with Robbie Whitcup, but Whitcup gets the goal, I do believe. But good sustained pressure by that threesome.
That was a very, very good hustle goal for Massena, and the Raiders take the lead here 1-0 in the first period on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard.
Outworked the Devils in the corner to the left of Bixby, threw it across the slot area, and number 9, Robbie Whitcup, unattended on that side, just lifted it up over a fallen Andy Bixby.
So Whitcup gets the first goal of this game, and the Raiders take the lead 1-0. Here comes Ogdensburg into the Massena zone. Right there is Sidden to flip it ahead. Here's Whitcup again. Whitcup takes it in right down the middle. Here's the shot. Save made, and a good one by goaltender Bixby. That was labeled for the corner. Back to the point. Sidden pinches in. Flips it deep. Trying to get to Catanzari. Catanzari ran into the official, and the puck bounces free. It's deflected out to the neutral zone. Sidden will get back and pick it up. Jeremy Sidden slides it ahead. Intercepted, dumped back in the Massena zone. No, they waved the icing off as Sidden touched it on the way by. Now it's Hatch picking it up behind his own net. Ryan Hatch circles, looks on the wing. It's just deflected down into Ogdensburg territory. They wave that one off as well, and the puck goes all the way back where it's picked up by the defenseman, Mike Garvey. Garvey lost his edge, falls down. Catanzari flips it in front. Wood shot, short side save made. No! It's in the net. No goal. They battle for it. And Wood celebrated, but the puck was not in the net, and somehow Bixby kept it out.
Adam Wood prematurely raising the stick, thought he had one on that short side, but it was evidently on the goal line, and Andy Bixby found it before it crossed the line, and the referee right there waved off no goal and had blown the whistle. That first goal coming at the 8:50 mark. Robbie Whitcup is 6th of the year with Aaron Michaud picking up the assist. Just prior to that, Michaud had sent DeLille away on a great lead pass down that right side. Puck then went into the corner, and there were 2 Raiders in front, Whitcup and DeLille, and only one blue shirt, and he tied up DeLille and left Whitcup all alone, and he picked up the loose puck and put it up over Bixby.
Off the face-off. Puck sits in the circle. Devils will control. Moving it to the Massena line. Colin Lazare back there. Flips it ahead, not out of the zone. Puck in the corner, in behind the net. Taken out of the play by Wood, back checking. Good job there by Wood. Now it's ahead to the blue line and out to center ice. Job. Here's Job trying to barge his way through. Pokes it, following his Converse. Converse in behind the net. Can't gather it though, and it's knocked away by Scott Wilson. Around the boards it goes. Converse dumps it right back in the corner. Back after it, the Blue Devil defense. They flip it around the boards. Wood throws a check. Actually got more board than puck, but Job picks it up. Centering pass right in front. And Duval, or I should say Bixby, grabs it before anybody can touch it and holds on for the face-off.
Excellent job of that line of Chris Converse on the left side, Matt Job centered by Adam Wood, the 2 big husky wingers, Job and Converse, and that shifty Wood really cycling well down in the corner. And that line, when they do cycle and use their strength in the corners, they're really tough.
Well, they're certainly they've got a lot of size and strength, and like you said, when they use that, they can move some people around.
You bet. Chris Converse, not tall, but he's really physical.
Off the face-off. Back to the point, Sidden. He'll go to the other point. Here's Horan's shot, high in the air, over the net. Puck in the corner. Ramo flips it around behind the net. DeLille in there after it. He gets tied up. The puck barges 3. Michaud flips it right in front of the net. Picked up on the defense by Dylan Kinch. Kinch circles. Oh, we almost lost it. Now he flips it ahead on the wing, and it's out to center ice. Devils, who's going to pick it up? Finally, it's dumped into the zone. Didn't look like anybody wanted that puck for a second. In behind the net, Horan flips it ahead. He'll follow himself. Here's Horan. He's going to lug it down the right side. Kevin Horan's got the head of steam. He's got the deep beat. His shot right on, and the save made by Bixby. If he had gotten that one upstairs, it comes right in front. Horan again cranks it up. He scores a goal. Kevin Horan, and the Raiders take a 2-0 lead.
Kevin Horn, his first goal of the year, and that came soon after a brilliant rush down that right side as he beat the defenseman, got around him, but he didn't look up. He put the puck right into the goaltender's pads. He went around the net, came back to the point. The puck came back to him in the slot area, and I'll tell you, he cranked up a slap shot from about 40 feet out through some traffic and beat Andy Bixby high to the glove side, and that was, as Danny Gallivan would say, a cannonading drive. His first goal of the year. Kevin Horn put the Raiders up 2-0.
And how many times you get a second chance like
that?
Oh,
not too often, but I'll tell you, he buried that one.
Off the face-off. Raiders control again. Here comes Toth. He's going to rush the puck. Cranks it up. Right on the save made. Rebound goes in the corner as Levine was trying to pinch it in. Now the puck out to the neutral zone. Toth back after it. Nick circles. Headman right on the stick of Adam Catanzari. His headman, a Whitcup, a little too far. Catanzari gets it back. Goes off his skate in the corner. Adam after it. Throws a check. Whitcup picks the puck up. Leaves it for Adam Catanzari. Lost his edge. Puck in the corner. They battle for it there. Comes to the blue line out to center ice. Off the boards, but Whitcup is back to pick it up. Whitcup, he tries to drop it to Toth. Nick picks it up, takes it behind his own net, looks up ice. Headman right down the middle, deflected to center ice, dumped right back in the Massena zone by the Devils. Back after it there is Colin Lazaire. Lazaire is going to carry it himself. Here's Lazaire, takes it across the red line, across the blue line, lost it right at the blue line. Devils got a break. No, it's stolen away. Good chance by Wood. He lost it at the blue line. And I think they're going to call, a tripping. As Wood, that's the reason he lost it at the blue line. He got tripped. And so the Raiders will go on the power play.
That second Massena goal, the 11-13 mark, his first of the year. Kevin Horn from Aaron Michaud. And the only thing I'm sad about that Dad John wasn't up here in the booth with you describing that one. He would have enjoyed calling the replay on that one.
Absolutely. So the Raiders will go on the power play. And this is, they did get a power play goal against St. Lawrence Central, but this is what they need to work on, special teams.
Oh, their special teams have been atrocious this year. They're 10% on the power play, 5 for 50, and I'm sure it's driving the coaching staff just wild because I know they work on it, but maybe they'll finally get that mastered as this season comes down to the crunch time.
Off the face-off, Whitcup wins it back to Michaud at the point. Michaud steps by the check. Can't get the shot up. He's going to flip it in the corner for Adam Wood. Wood sets up. Right side of the goalie at the 45 now. Back to the point. Here's Toth. Michaud, his shot. Ooh, gloved. In behind. Converse trying to pick it up. He can't. Knocked away by Dan Weirs, and he dumps it down the ice. And all the way back in the Massena zone it goes.
A new wrinkle they have in the past several games is Michaud back on the point. He'll crank it up, and they need some shots from the point.
And he can play defense, too. He's a good defenseman. Here comes Whitcup in on the right wing side. He drops it, but it's back to the blue line. Toth keeps it in. He flips on the 45, has it knocked away, and stays. Toth, his shot, fired it wide. He saved a breakaway right there, Toth did. Back to the point. Here's Nick. Winds up his shot. Right on. Rebound cleared by the defense. They're going to dump it down the ice. So the Raiders are getting some chances on this power play.
Yes, and they've gone back to the old system of putting that guy in front. This time it's Chris Converse parked right in front of the OFA goaltender. They just have to get those shots on the net.
Here's Whitcup carrying out of the zone. Headman of Converse. He'll dump it around the boards. He kind of misfired on it. The puck didn't make it very deep, but he's got it anyway. Nope. Apparently went up off over the glass. and we'll have a face-off, I think, outside the zone.
Early in the season, the Raiders were controlling puck on the power play, Jerry, but they weren't getting the shots. And, I don't know if they were trying to be too fancy or unfamiliar with a new system or what, but they've gone back to putting that guy in front and using the overload, and that's what you need. Screen that goaltender and get some shots, go to the net without the puck.
Well, I'll tell you, they got their power play goal was from the point against St. Lawrence Central, Nick Toth. So,
yeah, Nick had a couple goals in that game.
Yes,
it's nice to see the defense had been kind of lacking in shots on goal and goal production, but it's nice to see Nick chipping in with 2.
Off the faceoff, puck dumped deep, stopped in behind the net. Job after it, throws a check, comes up. Where's the puck? Controlled by Job after Ramo comes up with it. Back to Horan at the point. Horan dumps to Job in the corner. Job, he takes it back toward the blue line. Now they got the man back. Raiders trying to move it right in front of the net, but it's cleared all the way down the ice. And Meacham will play that, so there's no icing. And he clears it way ahead to Job. Job dumps it to the Ogdensburg line, dumped right back to the Massena line, and offsides will be the call on Ogdensburg as they got somebody in the zone. 1:02 left in a fast-paced first period. The Raiders lead 2-0 on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard.
One thing I never can understand, Jerry, you got a man in the box, the opposition's got the puck in your zone and putting pressure on you. The guy comes out of the box, instead of going back in and helping out, he heads to the bench.
That gives you an extra, 10 seconds of power play?
You bet it does.
Off the faceoff, puck back in the Berg zone, picked up there by Danny Weirs. Weirs will drop on the other side. Devils move it out to center ice. Right there, though, is Whitcup. Whitcup takes it wide right side. Here's Whitcup, centering pass knocked away, gets it back. He'll go to Katanzari right across the goal, mouth shot, score! And the Raiders get another goal as Levine will get the goal. Katanzari and Whitcup will pick up the assist, and the Raiders lead 3-0. A goal in the last minute of the first period.
And that just comes from good work. They outworked the Devils in the corner to the left of Bixby, and Chris Levine parked out in front. They slid it across the crease area, and Levine was tied up by a Devil defenseman, but he shook off the defenseman, got the puck, got the stick down on the ice, and bingo, slid a low shot along the ice to beat Bixby on the far side, just underneath the left arm. The Raiders up 3-0.
Off the faceoff, puck in the circle. Here's Sidden with it. Sidden takes it wide, right by the defenseman. Sidden stops, gets a shot. Bixby has to make the save. Not a lot on it, but it was a shot. Devils move it, not clearing the zone. Whitcup trying to go back to the point, knocked away. Now stolen away by Horan, right back to Levine. Levine goes to Katanzari. Katanzari trying to get by the check, he's knocked down. Puck bounces free. Devils, they got a man breaking. Don't get it to him. What do we got? We got a whistle anyway.
Hand pass, I do believe.
No, penalty, a slashing call, and I didn't see it. It's going to go against Massena, though, and it's going to go against...
Lazaire, I think.
No, Horan.
Oh, is it Kevin down there?
Kevin Horan. I did not see the penalty happen down this end, and he gets the gate for slashing. That means the Raiders will be in the box, and this is another area of concern, killing penalties.
Yes, it is. The opposition almost 22% on the power play, 12 for 57, actually with 21.1%. Raiders certainly have to reduce that margin.
Off the faceoff, puck knocked away by Job to the blue line into the Massena zone. Toth back with it, 10 seconds left. He takes it behind the net. Looks to tie it up now, stolen away. Puck in front. And it goes to the side of the net, and oh boy, I'll tell you, Meacham dives over as the buzzer sounds.
Goaltender's best friend is the goalpost, and I think that one saved Matt Meacham right there in the dying second.
And they come up with it there, picked up by Drew Johnson, and it goes into the Ogdensburg bench, and we'll do it all over again. With 1:08 left in the man advantage, 14:56 left in the middle period. On the scoreboard, it's the Massena Red Raiders 3, Ogdensburg Blue Devils no score on the Tiffany's Restaurant scoreboard. Face off again. Off the draw, Joe battles for it. And one of the Raiders got knocked down. That was Converse. That doesn't happen all that often. Sidden picks it up behind his own net, rips it around the boards, kept in at the point by the Devils. They set up the power play. Now Sidden comes up with it in the corner, just looks to tie. And there's a battle. The puck finally squirts free. Job comes back to help out. Moves along the boards. Sidden wastes some more time. They move it along the boards. Now Job after it. Comes back to Sidden. Comes free to the blue line. No, it's still in there. Now it's back to the point. They move it through into the corner, and around the horn it goes. Down to 30 seconds, the man advantage. Back to the point, into the 45. Back to the point it goes, into the 45. Moving it across, and into the corner it goes off a stick. Raiders running around a little bit, but the Devils didn't take advantage of it. Now it goes on the other side. In behind. Siddon throws a check. Puck goes around the board. Converse knocks it free. Comes back to Siddon at the point. Siddon makes a move. Looks to tie it up again with 4 seconds left. And 2 seconds. The whistle blows with 1 second left in the man advantage. And I'll tell you what, Jeremy Siddon did a great job. He must have wasted 35 seconds.
Yes, he did. Another guy did a great job doing what he's instructed. Number 18, Colin Lazare. He and number 5 for the Devils, Dan Wares. Wares trying to establish position in front of goaltender Meacham. And Lazare doing an excellent job legally getting him out of there, moving him out of position so Meacham could have a look at that puck. Super job by Colin Lazare.
Face-off will come in the Massena zone with 1 second left in the man advantage. Ramo will take the draw. It looks like it's going to be it's going to be Duval taking the face-off for the Devils. Mel gets ready to drop the puck. Off the draw, shot, well, it goes right across the goal mouth. Raiders get a man back as Horan comes into the fray. Puck in the corner, back to the point. Here's the drive, knocked down, bounces in the circle. They get a man free, knocked away. And it's kicked to the blue line. Ramo can't get it. Knocked back in the corner. Comes to Horan. He'll gather it in behind the net. Here's Horan flipping it on the wing to Ramo. Ramo just dumps it. And I believe that'll go far enough for icing. It does. And the whistle blows and we'll do it again.
And Kevin Horn out of the penalty box. Where does he go? Right into the play, which you should do. Instead of going all the way across the ice, he hustles right back down. The Devils putting on pressure right back down into the defensive zone to create that 5-on-5 situation. Smart move. 13:21 left in the second period. Raiders up 3-zip.
Ramo will take the draw against Duval. Face-off right side in the Massena zone. Off the face-off, puck goes in behind the net to Nick Toth. Toth for Massena picking it up. He'll stop behind the net, looks at the defense, and starts it out. He'll carry it himself. Looks up ice, turns it around. He'll take it out of the zone himself. Here's Toth. He's going to lug it himself to the blue line. Takes it across, trying to go to Ramo, knocked away, and it's back out to the neutral zone. Back comes Ogdensburg in Massena territory. Jordan Spears, he's knocked off the puck. Michaud picks it up, flips it ahead. And I think they wave it off. Somebody touched it on the way by. And the Raiders are going to make a line change as the puck goes all the way down the ice. Raiders trying to steal it. That's Whitcup, looks to center. It comes in front. Catanzariti couldn't find the handle. Back out to the neutral zone. Here comes Ogdensburg. Duval tries to make the move, but it goes off a skate. Raiders turn back the other way. What do we got, a penalty?
We got a penalty against the Raiders. It's going to be Chris Levine. Tripping, interference. They're calling for interference, but Devils back on the power play with 12:32 left in the second period. Massena just killed off a penalty. They're right back into the penalty box.
So the Raiders have to try to kill another Ogdensburg penalty here.
The Devils didn't really have any great scoring opportunities in that first power play, but you cannot go back to the well too often.
That's right, off the face-off. Puck sits in the circle. Now it goes back into the corner. Lazare after it. Collin has it knocked away. Devils control. Ogdensburg moving it around the horn to the blue line. Moving it back again. Here's the shot. Knocked down. Somebody gave up the body. Puck sits in the circle. Another shot. They score a goal. That's going to be Scott Wilson scoring the goal. And a power play goal for Ogdensburg makes it 3-1 for Massena.
Scott Wilson, who picked up his own rebound. He's the guy that shot the puck initially, and I think it was Jeremy Siddon who gave up the body and blocked it, but Wilson picked up his own rebound from about 15 feet out in front, directly out in front of Matt Meacham, and fired a shot that beat Meacham to the stick side, high to the stick side, and the Devils score a power play goal and pull within one.
So now there's going to be matching minors that occurred after the goal. A little bit of a mix-up. Jeremy Siddon and Dan Weirs. And let's see what we got. There wasn't much of a fracas, but they're going to call them for it. So matching minors will be skating 4-on-4 plus the goaltenders.
And watching number 20 over there, Dan Weirs, just a youngster. Let's see if we can find out what year he is. Find him on the list someplace.
Who are you looking for? Weirs is a penalized player.
Oh, I want to know what.
For the goal scorer, Scott Wilson?
No, I'm looking. There he's a sophomore. Yeah, that's Wilson. I said Weirs. It was Wilson. He's only a sophomore.
And you're right. He got his own rebound off the face-off. Puck at the blue line. Back to the Ogdensburg blue line. They move it around the horn. and dump it deep in Massena territory. 3-1 Raiders lead after the power play goal. Funny bounce, side of the net. Puck in the corner, Lazaire trying to knock it to the blue line, not out of the zone. Here's a shot, save made as Meacham comes way out of the net to cut down the angle. And here comes Horan rather, taking it into the zone. Dumps it in the corner, and in behind the net, it goes around the board, Jordan Spears. And he'll dump it off the glass out to center ice where Colin Lazaire picks it up. Lazaire's headman, he's got a breaking wing. Here comes Wood, cranks it up, save made. Bixby, the bouncer, goes back to the blue line out to center ice. Big blast there. Comes to Horan from Toth. Horan circles back, looks, goes to Toth on the other side. Toth will skate it out. Here comes Nick Toth. He's going to take it down the right side. Here's Toth trying to barge his way through. Puck goes in the corner. Toth goes after it. Here's Toth looking to drop the puck, but it's knocked away. Bounces free, still in there. Finally, it's picked up by the Devils. They'll move it out to center ice. They got a man breaking, try to get him, but icing will be the call as they try to hit Andy Duval at the blue line, but it was too far. And with 17 seconds left in the matching penalties, we'll go back into the Ogdensburg zone for a face-off. 3-1 our score for Massena on the Tiffany's Restaurant scoreboard.
We've talked about it many times, making the big save at the right time, and Matt Meacham just made a big save at the right time. Raiders kind of back on their heels, just have been scored upon. The Devils had a great opportunity to make it a one-goal game, but Meacham, coming way out, as you call, out on the white ice, took all the net away, made a big save from the Devils. That's coming up with a big save at the right time.
Ramo will take the face-off, wins the draw. Here's an opportunity for Toth. He takes it in the corner. Nick Toth circles. He looks to wrap it around. He gets the backhander. Save made, rebound. They battle for it. And where is it? I guess goaltender Bixby has it. Good opportunity for Massena.
Nick Toth jumping down from that left point, down into the left corner, in behind the net. Wasn't challenged. Walked right out in front. Got a backhander off. The Devil defenders tying up the white shirts in front, and no one picked up Nick Toth. Good save by Andy Bixby.
We'll do it again. Face off. Michaud, left side off the draw. Michaud wins the shot right on, taken by Ramo, I believe. Here's a shot. Hatch deflected wide into the corner. Michaud reached for it, couldn't come up with it, and the Devils move it out as both teams get a player out of the penalty box. Back the other way comes Massena. Ramo trying to barge his way through. Following up the puck. He still got it. Takes it in the corner. Centering pass in front. Michaud shot. Ooh, big save again by Bixby. Puck to the blue line, out to center ice. Brian Hatch after it. Hatch picks it up. Looks up ice for Michaud. Michaud dump pass knocked away. Comes to Hatch in the Massena zone. He goes over on the other side for Toth. Toth looking. He's going to lug it ahead. Trying to flip it. Ramo backhands it deep in Ogdensburg territories. The Raiders want to make a change here. Puck in the corner. Converse throws a check. The puck squirts free around the boards to the blue line. Kept in at the point by Job. Puck around on the other side. Converse racing there. Can't come up with it. It bounced to the Massena line. Goes off Colin Lazaire's skate. He has to come back for it. He'll flip it on the other side. Headman. Michaud just deflects it in the zone for Wood. Wood racing in the corner after it. He and the defenseman Weirs go together. And it comes to Converse. Back to the point. Here's a drive from the point. It doesn't get through. The puck knocked away. Back comes Ogdensburg. The Devils into the Massena zone. That's Duval. Head of steam. He gets a backhander. It goes, well, Meacham got a piece of it. It goes across the goal mouth. Back out to center ice. Puck dumped to an open wing. Defense racing for it. Kinch in his own end for the Blue Devils. Kinch picks it up, circles behind the net, flips it to the blue line all the way down the ice, but out to the center ice. Picked up there by Horan. Horan circles for Massena. Flip to Job. Job's headman knocked away. Comes back to the Massena line. Into the zone it goes, and in behind the net, where it's picked up by Colin Lazaire. 3-1 Raiders lead. Lazaire loses it in front of the net, knocked away, and it's cleared by Meacham to Catanzari. Doesn't get it out of the zone, gets it back again, kicks it ahead. Trying to clear the zone, he doesn't. Here's a sharp angle shot. Job will flip it in the corner. Puck cleared by the Devils, in behind the net. Finally, it comes free to Catanzari. He moves it out to center ice. Here's Adam. Building up ahead of steam with Job. He'll flip it in the corner as he gets tied up. And the Raiders look like they're going to make a line change anyway. Puck in the corner. Whitcup back there battling for it. It squirts free to Levine. Levine throws a check. Comes away with a puck. Centering pass knocked away to the blue line. Hatch keeps it in. Flips it in the open corner. After it is Catanzari. Looks up ice. He'll flip it in behind for Whitcup. Robbie takes the puck. It's knocked down. Bouncer comes free to the blue line out to center ice. Here comes Duval for the Devils. Into the Massena zone. Makes a move. It trickles right on, and Meacham is going to cover up and hold on for the face-off.
Andy Duvall, fine-looking hockey player for the Devils. Couple of nice rushes up there. Only a sophomore. He can really motor. We talked about big saves, Jerry. We talked how Matt Meacham had made a big save at the crucial time. And back at the other end, Andy Bixby, also just a sophomore. 2 big saves off. Ryan Ramo off the face-off, and then Matt Meacham picked up a loose puck in the slot. Bixby coming up with 2 big saves.
Face-off left side in the Massena zone. Off the draw. Puck in the circle. There's a shot deflected up into the wall. Somebody got a stick on that.
Yes, it was Jeremy Sidden off the draw, right to number 20. That's Scott Wilson, who has the Blue Devil goal. Right in the slot, he cranked it up. Jeremy Sidden got the stick on it, just the blade to deflect it up over the glass behind Matt Meacham.
Johnson will take the face-off again. There's a battle for it. Goes in behind the net. Hatch after it. Flips it around the boards. Trying to battle through the check is Morley. Morley looks to center, but it's knocked away. Raiders move it out center ice. Here comes Michaud. He's going to bust right down the left side. His shot blasts it, and Bixby makes the save. Aaron Michaud. Now the Ramo. Ramo looks to go back to the point. Here's Hatch. Hatch's shot deflected. Oh, Michaud couldn't get a blade, turn it around. It's going to come to Ramo, though. Ramo flips it in the corner. In behind the net. It's ripped around the board. Sidden pinches in. Flips it in the corner. Nobody there. Back out to center ice. The Devils are going to have a 2-on-1. Into the zone. Here's the drive. No, the pass is blocked. Great defensive play made by Massena getting back. Who was that anyway? Was that Brian Hatch?
That was Brian Hatch.
Made a great play. Sidden rips it around the boards for DeLille. DeLille takes it in behind the net. Flips it ahead for Sidden. Knocked away. Here's a shot knocked down in front. Right across the goal mouth. Hatch made another great play. Raiders are going to ice the puck to take off the pressure. Brian Hatch with 2 defensive gems probably saved a goal both times.
And you hit the nail right on the head. They were gems. A 2-on-1 situation. He played it exactly right. Forced the puck carrier to the outside, then intercepted the pass as he wanted to come up in the slot area, and then just back. The Devils kept the puck in the zone. It came out of the corner right to, I don't know the number in front, but Hatch had them all tied up like you tie up a Christmas present. I'll tell you, a good job by Brian Hatch.
It'll be Duval taking the face-off, and it'll be Wood for Massena in the Massena zone. 7:07 left, 3-1 Raiders lead. We're in the second period on the Tiffany's Restaurant scoreboard. Off the draw, here's the drive. Oh, that went off somebody's leg. Doesn't get out of the zone, though. Back to the corner, Lazare to Job. Job moves it to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Puck kept in by the Devils. Spears in the corner, stolen away by Nick Toth. Ahead to Converse. Converse busts down the right wing side. Here's Converse, skating. Finally, it's taken away and dumped back in the Massena zone. Back after it, Colin Lazare. He'll take it behind his own net and look up ice. Here he'll start left side. On the wing for Job. Job lugs it out to center ice. Gets by one. Right through the legs. Here's Job building up the head of steam. Takes it wide left side. Looks to go back to the point. Colin Lazare winds up the shot deflected right on. Rebound all the way back to the blue line out to center ice. Here come the Devils. Scott Wilson. Wilson stops just inside. He winds up. The save made by Meacham. Puck goes in the corner. Racing after it there is Ryan Morley. Morley taken out of the play. The puck squirts free. Wilson to the blue line. Here's a shot through traffic, though that goes wide. Round to the other point. Kept in there. Lazare flips it along the boards. Knocked inside of the net. Here's a chance in behind the wraparound attempt. The save made. They score a goal. And Ogdensburg makes it 3-2.
I'm trying to pick up the number. I think it's number 20 again, Jerry. I'll wait and see, but I think Scott Wilson picked up the rebound, and whoever got the assist.
Might be Morley.
Morley?
Yeah.
We'll wait and see, but I was just going to comment, this game has opened up considerably at both ends. Both clubs having good scoring opportunities, but the Raiders better not put this one in the W column because the Devils keep coming back, having good scoring opportunities, and bingo, they pulled within one. We'll wait and see. Who gets the goal, whether it might be Wilson from Morley or... But anyway, he worked his way out of the corner. Morley, I think, would put a shift on the Raider defenseman, got him down out of position, threw it across in front.
Ryan Morley.
Oh, it is Morley. Drew Johnson. Scott Wilson got he got an assist as well.
So Morley from Wilson and Johnson?
That's correct. So it's 3-2 now. The Raiders' 3-goal lead has been cut to 1. Now the puck in behind the net. Levine trying to center it. It goes free in the corner. Levine after it again. He gets tied up. Squirts free to Catanzarite. He can't control it. Kick to the blue line, not out of the zone. Back in there's Levine. Circles in front. Here's the puck and bouncing. It's still free. They battle for it. Comes back to the blue line. Levine. Sidden goes back to Levine in the corner. Levine after it. He gets tied up, trying to go to Catanzari, gets it back again, has it swept away. And picking it up finally is Dylan Kinch. He clears it to the blue line out to center ice. Here come the Devils back the other way. McClear across the blue line. They got a man in front. The shot, he fires it wide. That was Andy Duval. And back comes Massena. Here comes Levine. Levine dumps it deep into Ogdensburg territory. Whitcup feeding in front. Catanzari can't get a stick on it. He was tied up. Comes back to the blue line. Kept in. Whitcup to Catanzari. Knocked away. Bounces back to the blue line. We have a whistle. And we got an interference call against the Blue Devils behind the play, and the Raiders will go on a power play, and they could certainly use a power play goal.
They certainly could, and that looks like it's going to be Dan Weirs who's going to get the interference call, but the Devils came within a whisker of tying it up, but they did get within one, the 9:03 mark. Brian Morley with Drew Johnson and Scott Wilson, and I think Johnson was the guy that did yeoman work as he got the Raider defenseman down out of position, faked a shot, got him down to block it, walked around him, and then threw it across the crease area, and Morley off to the right of Matt Meacham, roofed one, got a nice backhander, didn't waste any time, and got it up just in under the crossbar, and that coming at the 9:03 mark.
4:52 left in the period on the Tiffany scoreboard. Raiders 3, Ogdensburg 2 off the draw. Puck just inside the blue line. Whitcup after it. He gets tied up, and it's out to center ice. Back after it is Toth. He circles back. Raiders on the power play. Flips it ahead, gets it back again. Nick Toth with it. He'll go on the wing to Aaron Michaud. Michaud gets by one. Michaud poke checks it in the corner. In behind the net, Robbie Whitcup after it. Whitcup comes away with the puck. Circles into the corner. Sets up at the 45. Whitcup trying to flip it in the circle. Back to Nick Toth at the point. He flips it around the boards. Converse after it. Converse takes it behind the net. Here's Converse moving it around. He'll dump it in behind for Whitcup a little bit too far. The puck cleared around the boards, kept in. Toth at the point. He goes on the 45. Gets it right back. His shot. Save made. And Michaud fed Toth, and he took it right on the fly, but a good save by Bixby.
Big save by Bixby as Aaron Michaud intercepted that clearing pass along the boards and slid it right across to Nick Toth on the blue line, and he one time to rock it and looked like it was going stick side high, but Bixby coming across. And Coach Barlow really pleased with this youngster, Andy Bixby. He said he's been a real pleasant surprise, didn't have a lot of experience last year, but he's grown by leaps and bounds as this season has progressed.
Face-off will come inside Ogdensburg territory. 40 seconds left of the man advantage. 4:02 in the second period. Raiders now clinging to a one-goal advantage.
Well, we said at the top of the broadcast, these two clubs pretty evenly matched, and they usually put on a good performance. And for a second, when it got to be 3-0, we thought, well, maybe that's not going to come. But the Raiders have clawed their way back, or the Devils have clawed their way back.
Robbie Whitcup will take the face-off. Inside Ogdensburg territory, right off the draw, goes right in front of the net. There's a battle. Back to the blue line, kept in by Toth. Toth will flip. No, he keeps it. He'll go over on the other point. That's Michaud over there. Back to Toth. He winds up. No, he fakes the shot, goes in the corner. Michaud pinches in after it. Here's Michaud flipping it in behind the net for Job. Job had his stick tied up, and the puck cleared all the way around the boards by the Devils and down the ice. Meacham has it get away from him. The puck goes in the corner, picked up by the Devils. As they just look to waste some time, the puck squirts free, and the Raiders break it out, but not much time left. Goes to Ramo. He takes it in on the off wing, cuts toward the middle, gets a shot off, save made. Rebound, poke check free, comes back to the point. Toth cranks it up again. His shot deflected up into the wall by Whitcup. And again, the man went toward the bench, Coach. Man towards the bench. I'm sure Coach Barlow is going to pick that up between intermissions, but another big save by Andy Bixby it was Ryan Ramo coming down his off wing, down that left wing, and he cut into the middle, and when he did, he was on his forehand and just about, I'd say, 30 feet out. He cranked one up, and Bixby, big time save. 3-2, Raiders lead on the Tiffany's Restaurant scoreboard. 3:16 left in the second period, and the Devils killed off that penalty. Raiders 0 for 2 in the power play. The power play woes do continue. Not for lack of chances. No, that's right. Off the face-off. Puck in the circle. Wood trying to barge his way through, knocked away back to the point. Jeremy Sid winds up. Quick snapshot. Save made, rebound in front. Shot, scores that goal. Wood on the rebound. The Raiders get one back. It's 4-2.
Andy Bixby is just beside himself. He's got his hands over his head. He knows he committed a cardinal sin. A fairly easy shot from the point. He made the save, but didn't corral the rebound and just let it nonchalantly out in front of him. And Adam Wood swept in from that right side and picked up the rebound. And I tell you, this youngster knows when he gets around the net, he knows how to deposit it. And he beat Bixby with a backhand. But that Bixby knows he's in, just in agony that he should have corralled that rebound.
Well, Sidden, he was trying to keep it in the zone and get the shot off at the same time. And he did, and that's why you always try to get the shot off, because you never know.
Good things happen when you direct the puck towards the net.
Off the face-off, the puck goes into the Berg zone, but they're going to break it out to center ice. Boyer with it, he'll dump it deep in Massena territory. After it is Horan. He takes it in behind the net. Kevin Horan. Here's Horan up the right side, steps by one. Looks on his wing for Levine. A little bit too far for Levine, but he stays with it. Knocked away to the blue line. Hard check thrown by Horan. The puck comes back to Wood. Wood flips it, lost it right in front, but it's cleared in behind the net by Sidden. Sidden saved Wood's bacon that time. Wood throws it out to center ice, almost intercepted. Now the puck cleared back to the neutral zone. Levine after it. He'll be called for the offsides. No, apparently not, as it comes out anyway. The Berg back the other way. Here's a headman in the Massena zone. And the puck, the Raider falls down. Here's a shot. They score a goal. And it's 4-3. The Massena defenseman just fell down, and the Blue Devil, that was Ryan Morley, went in all by himself, and Meacham had come way out of the net, and he just went behind him and deposited the puck.
Well, I know the coaching staff just, they can't figure that one out. It looked for a second like with the Cats and Jammer boys out there just falling down, a comedy of errors, no one around them, and number 19, that's Morley, just picked up a loose puck walking down the slot and right in and got Meacham down and out of position and beat him to the short side. But Matt Meacham got no help at all from his defensive core or for the forwards. About 3 players seemed to doing a pratfall out there, Jerry.
And I don't know what happened. There was nobody around the defenseman when he fell down. He just fell down.
No one around him at all. But anyway, that's a big goal, and I thought somebody had called a timeout. We have an equipment change over there. Captain Nick Toth is Mel Tumulty. We're at the Raider bench talking to Coach Latham about something.
I think maybe they're arguing for an offsides. I don't know.
Well, they can argue, but it's going to be in vain because that one's up on the board, and they're going to count that one.
This is beginning to look like the St. Lawrence Central game, Coach.
Well, I can't comment on that one. You'll have to fill me in, Jay. I do know there were a lot of goals, 14 of them. And unfortunately for the Raiders, they came out on the short end. They had the 6 and the Larrys had the 8. But it looks like, when Adam Wood restored that 2-goal lead, put Massena back in the driver's seat, but they just got, again, a little lax and some defensive breakdowns in their own end.
Apparently Massena picked up a penalty. Adam Wood, and I'm not sure what that was for. That's what the argument was about. So the Devils on the power play here. And they control the puck. Into the Massena zone it goes. In behind the net. Meacham stops it. Flips for Lazaire. Clears it around the boards. Ogdensburg controls. Unsportsmanlike. Back to the point. Devils controlling the puck. That's Drew Johnson gets a shot right on. The puck cleared into the corner after Meacham makes the save. No, it's still in the zone. Here's a shot knocked down. Goes wide. And that was deflected right in front. Devils controlling the puck in the Massena zone on this power play. And they move it around the horn, into the corner. Yeah, back at the 45, Wilson. Back to the point. Here's a drive. That's wide. Puck goes around the boards. Out by the blue line. Shot knocked down. Deflected in the corner. Picked up there by Wilson. Back to the point. Gets it right back again. Here's the drive. Save made. Puck around the other boards. And to the blue line and still in the zone. Raiders try to get it out Michaud, but he couldn't. Now the puck out by the blue line. Here's a shot knocked down in front, and the Raiders finally clear it and take the pressure off. Now Michaud racing for it. Michaud gets knocked down. The puck goes underneath him, and the puck bounces in behind the net. About 15 seconds left in the man advantage. Raiders making changes on the penalty kill. Here come the Devils in the zone. Duval and is swept away. Puck out by the blue line. Pochek not out of the zone though. Puck bounces in behind the net, goes to the side of the net. Horan sweeps it in the corner. Penalty as he laps. We're back to full strength, and Massena moves it out. Here's Job with it. Headman pass. Wood takes it wide, lost it in the snow at the blue line. It goes into the corner. Job cruising in after it. Here's Job with it. Looks, skates in the circle, winds up the shot. Fired it wide, comes back to the point. Horan dumps it in the corner, knocked down with a high stick, and the puck comes right on anyway. And we'll have a whistle and a face-off with 10 seconds left in the period, and the Raiders again clinging to a 4-3 lead.
I'll tell you, referee Mark Larrabee, it must be an old-time hockey player, I assume. He's not old, but I bet he was a defenseman, because I watched him down there. Nick Toth and Dan Weirs were having a battle royal in front of the net. I just loved it. I would just keyed on those guys. Weirs established position, and Toth just doing everything to move him out of there. In fact, a couple times he gave him a good cross-check in the back. But Larrabee, watching the play, let him play. And these officials are, for the most part, letting these two teams play hockey out there tonight. But just a great battle. Nick Toth and Danny Weirs, neither one giving an inch on.
That's what you like to see.
Oh, you love that. Just hard-to-nose hockey. And
10 seconds left in the period. Face-off in the Blue Devils zone. Whitcup will take the draw. Off the face-off, puck sits in the circle. Devils win it. Puck goes in behind the net. That was Morley. Bounces right in front, but is cleared by the Devils out to center ice. And with buzzer sounding, the Raiders get called for controlling with a high stick, but it doesn't matter. And the period ends, but this was the Blue Devils period. Takes it across. Centers it right in front. Catanzariti overskates. Devils turn it back. Out to center ice, intercepted Levine. Levine dumps it off a leg in the zone. It bounces up over the glass and into the stands. And we'll have a face-off inside Ogdensburg territory, probably at the top of the circle.
Chris Levine, having a fine game tonight, has a goal for the Raiders, and is really every shift out there is really going 110%, adding a lot to that line. That line's been effective. Levine, Whitcup, and Catanzariti.
Face off top of the circle, Ogdensburg's on left side. Whitcup wins it to Sidden. Sidden to Lazaire. His shot through traffic. Oh, nice glove save by Bixby.
Big time save. Andy Bixby, and he gets a nice tap of appreciation by his teammates as Robbie Whitcup wins the draw clean back to the right point to Jeremy Sidden. He slides it across the blue line to Colin Lazaire, and Lazaire stepped down off the point and cranked one up through some traffic, but Bixby, big left hand, nice save. That was a showtime save.
You got to give the Raiders credit. They've been using their points more in this game, I think, than I've seen them in almost any other game this year.
I agree, Jerry.
And you got to use every weapon at your disposal if you want to win hockey games. Whitcup wins again. Levine, this time, he battles for it and flips it in the corner. Catanzariti trying to center. Whitcup circles. He's got room, goes back to the point. Lazaire gets a quick snapshot, knocked down in front. There's a battle for it. Levine got knocked down. It goes in the corner. Catanzariti battles for it. Whitcup picks it out of the corner, goes back to the point. Here's Sidden, winds up, his shot deflected right on, rebound, shot, score, Levine! As he picked it right off Duval's save, and Levine gets his second goal of the game, and the Raiders go up 5-3.
Oh, a lot of little things, but it all starts with the draw, Jerry, and Robbie Whitcup wins it again. The face-off on the left side to the right of Bixby, but went in the corner. Whitcup picks up the puck, goes behind the net, gets it back to the point to Jeremy Sidden. Again, not a lot on it, but the key was the shots on the net. Low on the net. Bixby makes the save, but standing there just parked like a big old cat, Chris Levine. He picked up the rebound and put it by Bixby for his second goal and restored that 2-goal margin for the Raiders.
Off the face-off, puck into the Massena zone. Picked up by Kevin Horan. Horan circles and moves it out to center ice. Sidden and Robbie Whitcup getting the assist. Now the Raiders take it back across again. Job trying to barge his way through. It's taken off his stick by the Blue Devil defense, Kinch, to the blue line. Horan pinches in. The Devils defenseman clears it, but not out of the zone. Wood can't keep it in the zone. Back out to the neutral zone. Open wing goes to Toth. No, it's going to be Converse. He'll drop it back to Horan. Horan goes to Toth. And Nick circles back in his own end. Here's Nick Toth with it. He'll skate it ahead. Flips it on the wing. Job takes it by one. Here's Job busting his way through. He barges in, and the puck got away from him, and Bixby will grab it and hold on for the face-off.
At the 45-second mark of the third period, Chris Levine, his fourth of the year and second of the night from Jeremy Sidden and Robbie Whitcup, and it all started, as we said, when Robbie Whitcup won the draw, and he must be about 100% tonight, and on the year he's probably 98.5% on winning draws.
I talked to Coach Latham, and he kept the stats in one of the games we're talking about, and I think he won 13 of the 15 he took in one zone, and like 7 of the 9 he took in the other. I mean, it was unbelievable.
And the thing, he wins most of them clean. He just picks their pocket. It's just right back to the point or right to the winger in the slot. Unbelievably knack, and what a weapon that is to have that. I know referee Tamalte's over to the Raider bench, and somebody's yapping, and he's telling, hey, let's knock it off.
Face off left side in the Ogdensburg zone after the save. Actually, it wasn't a save, but Bixby grabbed it on the way by. Duval will take the face-off for Ogdensburg. He'll face it off against Michaud. Back to the point. Sidden shot deflected wide by the Massena forward. There's DeLille, I think. And it comes back out to center ice. Sidden flips it ahead. Ogdensburg line picked up there by Weirs, and he'll dump it off the glass in the Massena zone. Sidden back after it. He gets checked and stays with it. And Sidden flips it to the blue line, and did it get out of the zone? It does. Here comes Massena, 2-on-1. Ramo, he's got Michaud, feeds it to him a little bit too hard. He tries to center it to DeLille. Oh, he just got nailed from behind. The puck bounces free. Michaud back to the point. Here's Hatch over to Sidden. Sidden winds up his shot through traffic. Where is it? In behind the net. They try to knock it in front. Bounces around. It's still free. Michaud trying to wrap it around. Knocked away to the blue line. Sidden flips it in the corner, goes off a leg. He'll get it right back again. Here's Sidden, the backhander, knocked down in front, and the Devils will move it out to center ice. They got a man breaking into the Massena zone, but Meacham comes out to play it away. And it's dumped out to center ice, and down the ice, going to go right on net. And Bixby will make the save as the Raiders make wholesale changes. Here come the Devils to the neutral zone, bouncing around into the Massena zone. And I think there's going to be offsides, as way ahead of the play was Drew Johnson. 12:09 left in the period, and the Massena Red Raiders leading on the Corky's Collision scoreboard 5-3.
Raiders were making a wholesale change, and it looked like the Devils had a breakaway, but Massena had one more man to put on the ice, and that was defenseman Nick Toth as he came on, and instead of a breakaway, all of a sudden there's a white shirt standing there.
Raiders control, it's Toth. Looks up ice, right on the stick of Whitcup, right down the middle, gets by one. Here's Whitcup, slides it right on the save made, comes right back to Toth, winds up, his shot deflected in behind the net. Bouncing puck around the boards, Wilson. Wilson's long head man, all the way down the ice. Somebody touched it though. It'll go in the corner. In behind the net, Toth throws a check. The puck bounces free, in behind. They center it right across the goal mouth, and Meacham has it. As Whitcup, that's Robbie Whitcup in there, who was playing defenseman at the time, back checking. He had the man tied up, and Meacham came out and put the glove on it.
In the games that I've seen this year, Jerry, I think this is the best job the Raiders have done as far as screening the goaltender, not only on the power play, but on even up situations, 5-on-5. They're in front. They're in Bixby's face all the time. They're screening. They're using the points, as you mentioned, better than I've seen them in most games. And the defensemen, D to D, and they're getting the shot on the net. Excellent job by the defensemen.
Face off. Off the draw, Raiders control it to the blue line out to center ice. It gets away from Levine, but following is Whitcup. Whitcup takes it wide. It got away from him, back out to the neutral zone. Horan flips it ahead to Levine. Levine just kicks it in the corner. Puck bounces to Eric Boyer. Boyer rips it around the boards. Catanzarite steps in front of it, leaves it for Sidden now. Sidden will dump it back in the corner to Whitcup. Whitcup has it knocked away. It'll go on the other side, and around the boards it goes to the blue line, and the Devils move it out. To the Massena line, and into the zone it goes. Duval gets a shot off, but it's blocked by Sidden. Duval after the rebound, has it knocked away. Jeremy Sidden trying to move it out of the zone. Where is it? Back to the point. Here's a shot, and Meacham makes the save. He saw that one all the way. Puck in the corner. Wood back after it, after the check. He'll flip it on the wing. Raiders try to move it. It goes back in the corner to Sidden. Sidden turns it around, starts it out. Sidden off the boards, down the ice. That'll be icing on Massena as it rolls on end all the way down. And the Raiders will make a change here with 10:35 left in the third period on the Corky scoreboard. Massena leads 5-3.
young Blue Devil defenseman Eric Boyer, number 22, going to the bench in a lot of difficulty. He just got creamed by Chris Levine. Levine, you know, he's very aggressive out there, does a lot of corner work. He just laid a check on Boyer, and I'd say Boyer's probably about 5'9" and maybe 155. Chris Levine goes 6 foot 185, and he just leveled him, and Boyer in difficulty on the bench.
Off the face-off, Devils control, moving it back to the blue line. It bounces in the circle. There's a battle there. Where's the puck? It's underneath the player. Now it trickles wide into the corner. Wood after it for Massena. Flips it along the boards. There's a tie-up. It finally comes free to Wood. He'll flip it ahead, but not out of the zone. Here's a drive. Meacham makes the save. Puck goes in the corner again. Johnson in behind the net to Hatch. Hatch just lets it go by, then picks it up and overskates, moves it ahead to Wood. Wood off the boards to the blue line out to center ice. And he hand passed it. And I tell you what, Mel saw it, I saw it, and he called it immediately, so the faceoff will move back at the Massena blue line.
You saw it, Mel saw it, and just about 99% of the people in this rink saw it. Pretty evident hand pass by the Raiders, but 10 minutes and 1 second left in this hockey game. 5-3 Massena.
Ramo's line out there for the Raiders. Ramo, DeLille out there along with Michaud. Off the face, the puck goes to Ramo, and he just flips it ahead. Will it go far enough for icing? Apparently it will. No, they will wave it off. Mel looked over, and he said, nope. Wrap around a tap, Ramo, he scores a goal. Oh my goodness. And I'll tell you what, Ramo is amazing in the fact that it just seems like he's around the net at the right time, at the right place. And the Raiders get their 6th goal on a wraparound by Dale Ramo.
Well, Andy Bixby is...
No, not Dale. Oh my goodness.
Ryan. Andy Bixby a little upset, maybe at himself, but even more so on his defenseman, who kind of lollygagged back there. You thought it was going to be an icing. I think the defenseman did too, and he didn't hustle back, and Ryan Ramo beat him to the puck and just swooped around behind the net, and Bixby was a little slow covering to the post, and Ryan Ramo shoved it in the short side.
Ryan Ramo gets the goal unassisted. Off the face-off, Raiders control, it's Sidden. Now Massena with a 6-3 lead. Sidden dumps it deep, and the defenseman knocks it down, and the puck comes in behind the net. Ramo picks it up. Back to the point. Here's Lazaire. His shot through traffic deflected in behind the net. There's a battle. Ramo picks it up again. Goes back to the point. Lazaire shoots it again. This time it goes off a stick in the corner. Picked up by the Devils. They move it around the boards. Sidden pinches in a little bit. Can he keep it in the zone? No. Here come the Devils out to center ice. Ogdensburg, they try to hit the man breaking Duval, but it's a little bit too far. Sidden after it. In the corner it goes. And Michaud back to pick it up for Massena. Michaud circles. Raiders lead 6-3 on the Corky's scoreboard. Here's Aaron Michaud. He can dangle. Michaud takes it end to end into the zone and offsides. I think DeLille was ahead of the play. 9 minutes even left in the third period. Raiders with a 6-3 lead here in the third.
And a goal of perseverance and hustle. Ryan Ramo, you certainly have to credit him for hustling down there and not giving up on that, and as the Devil defenseman did, who thought it was going to be an icing. Actually, there should be an assist on that, Jerry. Whatever Raider had dumped it down the ice would have been called for the icing. Should have picked up an assist, but it goes unassisted. His 8th of the year, team-leading 8th goal, Ryan Ramo at the 5:10 mark.
We talk about Ramo, though. He's the kind of guy who's always around the net, and he knows what to do with it when he gets the opportunity. Raiders control off the face-off. It trickles into the Ogdensburg zone. There is a foot race, but it's going to come right in on Duval, or Bixby rather. And now they're taking shots at, there's going to be penalties. Is that Whitcup on the bottom of the pile? Who is that?
Well, it's
no,
either
it's not Whitcup. Is it Levine?
I'm not sure. I thought
it's Levine.
I thought it was a 9 in there, but
Bixby had the puck, but the whistle had not blown. And I think he's probably going to get a penalty, but I think the Devils will pick one up too.
Well, I think Ryan Morley or Dylan Kinch will get one, if not both of them. But
and I tell you what, even Bixby came over, took a shot at him.
Well, a little frustration right now. Bixby's upset. I think he's still thinking back to that Adam Wood goal, that he didn't corral that rebound, and that last one was kind of soft. But here we go. It's going to be 18. That's Kinch is going to get one, and Chris Levine, I'm sure, will also pick one up.
Yeah, they're going to give a couple to the Blue Devils.
Well, I'm sure if they get 2, probably the Raiders will pick up 2, but we'll see.
Maybe not. Maybe Levine just gets 1. Although, what would he get? Would that be a roughing the goalie?
It could be. It could be hitting after the whistle if they deemed
But
it
it
the whistle.
wasn't
No,
after the whistle.
but you sometimes can. You have to implement or
Improvise.
Improvise, I guess. That's the word I was looking for. You improvise after the fact, and they had time, but.
I'm sure that the officials, the officials are going to try to make this as even-handed as they can.
Well, it's 6-3 Raiders with 2 here in this third period.
Levine is saying, I really didn't do anything,
Well, he went fishing out of season, and he didn't have a license. He was fishing for the puck. It was underneath goaltender Andy Bixby, and Bixby's defense took exception. And as we often say, you go to the aid of your goaltender.
But you only need 1 to do that.
Well.
So then you got matching minors, and nobody's hurt.
Wait and see. They'll get it all sorted out. Referee Mel Tamalti explaining to Coach Dave Barlow,
and now he's going over to talk to Coach Ed Latham.
And it looks like it's going to be a 2-for-1.
They're going to give him a double
all right,
minor.
There we go. I said they.
Oh, wait a minute. Now they got 2 threes up on the Massena side.
Whoa! Now you've got me.
Maybe they put them up on the
wrong side. Yeah. I do believe.
Okay, there. Now they're making the change.
It'll probably be three threes.
Okay. Oops.
Who's that down there? That's.
Of course, we're in Brazier the other day, and one side of the boards they put 90 seconds up, and I looked at 90 seconds. The guy that was keeping the clock says, "Well, the minute and a half doesn't work right." Now we've got 1 second up on 2 Massena penalties.
And I know.
And now the Raiders got a second man coming over, Whitcup. Whitcup, I didn't see him involved at all. Maybe
well, I thought I saw 9 down there, but.
Okay, here we go. Johnson gets 1. Kinch gets 1. 3 minutes for roughing. Levine.
Chris Levine, 3 minutes for roughing.
Roughing, 3 minutes.
And to number 9, Robbie Levine.
Robbie Whitcup.
For slashing and a minute
Yep.
for rushing.
Well, they got 3 minutes all the way around. That's, to me, it was a little bit harsh. But, oh well. What it does is keeps these guys off the ice for 3 minutes, and, that's kind of too bad in a way. Here come the Devils. The net result is 5-on-5 hockey. And now we got another penalty on Massena, and I think Kevin Horan's going to get an interference call as he got tied up with Andy Duval, and he'll go to the box for interference, yep.
Again, the Raiders have to maintain their discipline and their composure here. They're up by 3, but we've seen this Devil Club get them in a hurry. You can't give them opportunities, especially the problems Massena has on the specialty teams, power and killing. And there's still plenty of time, 8 minutes and 18 seconds, but it is Kevin Horn for interference.
Yeah, he had a hold at Duval on the way by, and he did interfere with him.
I was talking to someone from Brazier, that scorekeeper that had the 90 seconds. He learned that from a previous scorekeeper by the name of Ryan Martin, used to keep the clock out there in Brazier. He said that was a method that Ryan taught him. So I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but
interference the call on Horn off the faceoff. Puck in the Massena zone. It's Lazaire trying to move it ahead. He does. And the Raiders move it out to center ice. Here comes Wood 1-on-1. Now he's got 2-on-1, trying to drop it off to Job. Not going to happen. Back comes Ogdensburg the other way. Devils in the zone. Taking it wide is Ryan Morley. Morley in behind the net. Circles. Setting up the power play. Back to the point. Moving it D to D. Back to the point. Here's a shot through. Traffic scores a goal. And that shot came from Dan Weirs. And I'm not sure if it hit anybody or it looked like there was nobody in front.
I don't think it hit anything. It found its way to the back of the net. There was some traffic, a little bit of traffic out high, but nice job by the Devils. They used that umbrella power play with Dan Weirs up at the top, and he and the guy at the half boards worked it around and got it back to Weirs, and he just took a nice slap shot that I don't think Matt Meacham ever saw, Jerry. I don't know if it hit anything or not. We'll wait and see. If it hits something, Weirs won't get the goal, but time will tell. But the Devils have pulled within 2.
6-4.
That did hit something.
Spears did get it. Okay, so Spears got the goal. So it was deflected in front of the net. That explains it.
The way he reacted, I didn't think he saw it, but it changed directions on him. But nice shot from Weirs. Spears get the goal.
So the Raiders' lead is cut back to 2. And in the zone it goes. In the corner, Raiders control around the boards and out to center ice. As the defenseman looked the wrong way, Garvey didn't see it coming. Here comes Massena. They're going to dump it in, but they're going to have to get onside. And the Raiders, that's McDonald out there, as the Raiders getting some extra players out as they've got some guys in the penalty box. Here comes McDonald, across the blue line, lost it. Puck bounces free out to the neutral zone. Back comes Ogdensburg. Inside Massena territory, they're going to dump it. Colin Lazare will pick it up. That was Mike Spriggs. Puck around the boards to the blue line and out to center ice. And now nobody seems to want the puck as it bounces all over the place. Finally, Jeremy Sidden corrals it, flips it ahead. Down the ice, that'll be icing on Massena. And the faceoff will move back in the Raiders zone. 6:51 left, third period. Raiders with a 6-4 lead on the Corky's Collision scoreboard.
And that fourth Blue Devil goal, a power play, or the second power play goal of the night, Jordan Spears with Dan Weirs and Scott Wilson picking up the assist. Wilson was the guy who fed it to Weirs at the top of the point, and Spears deflected it in front.
Off the face-off, puck back to the blue line, out center ice. Here's a breakaway for Ryan DeLille. Here's Ryan busting in. His shot hit the goalpost. And Ryan DeLille has had several of those this year, and he just hasn't had any luck. That time he had the goaltender beat and hit the goalpost. Puck in the corner. In behind the net, here's Michaud, wrap-around attempt, goes all the way back to the point. Toth keeps it in, flips it in the 45 to Ryan Ramo. Ramo in behind the net, off the glass, flips it in front, it's kicked in behind the net. Bouncing free, Ramo battles for it, gets knocked down, the puck slides free in the corner, and along the boards to the blue line. Here's a shot, gloved in front, the rebound, just in behind the net. Puck clear to the blue line again. Here's a drive from the point. Hatch's shot knocked down, and the Devils move it down the ice. That's going to be an icing call on Ogdensburg right there. And down the ice it goes.
And I thought we'd get an interference call here for a second against Nick Toth, but Ryan DeLille looking for his first varsity goal.
Boy, he's had some great opportunities.
He's had some great, hit the post on that one. He had a breakaway from the blue line, his defensive blue line in as he stripped number 22, Eric Boyer, the puck, and just cruised through the neutral zone right in on Bixby, got him down out of position, had him beaten, and hit the goal post on a backhander.
Tough break. And it's going to be Wood taking the face-off for Massena in the Ogdensburg zone after the icing. Raiders lead 6-4. Here's Sidden's shot in behind the net as he missed pretty much wide. Job flips it around the boards. Puck in the corner. Bouncing free, bodies flying, comes to Wood. Centering pass goes in behind the net. Job after it. Job trying to flip it in front. Wood, that just bounced by the net. Wood picks it up. Wood circles. Wood trying to go to Job in front. The shot goes all the way back to the point. Sidden, he'll go to the other point. Into the corner it goes. Picked up by the Raiders right across the goal mouth. Comes to Sidden. Winds up his shot. Bounces all the way off a body out to center ice. And it's going to be Lazare back after it. Colin Lazare with it. Flips to Sidden. Sidden has it knocked away, gets it back again. Here's Sidden down the off wing. He'll take it wide. Takes it in the corner. Finally, he's rubbed off the play. And the puck comes free to McClear, who rips it around the boards. Devils try to move it. Here they come. Ogdensburg out to center ice. To the Massena line. In the zone, we got a delay penalty on Massena. And they touch the puck. And what do we got there?
I think it's going to be Jeremy
Holding.
Sidden. We'll wait and see. Down in the corner to the right of goaltender Bixby, or is it going to be Katanzrik? We'll wait and see. I think it's going to be
Sidden.
Jeremy Sidden as he
picked up a holding call.
Yeah, he jumped into the rush and found himself down in the corner to the right of Bixby below the goal line, tussling with one of the Devil forwards. I kind of watched him. I think it was a good call. He put the grab on in frustration. He put the grab on the Blue Devil player and kind of threw him aside, and referee Laramie right there making the call. So
here we go again.
Here we go again. The Devils have struck for 2 power play goals already tonight, and if they get another one right here, I'll tell you, look out, kitty bar the door, because we're in for a frantic finish.
6-4 Raiders lead, 4:55. Whitcup will take the face-off as the Raiders got those players back. Off the draw, Whitcup wins it clean to Horan. Horan takes it behind. He's going to look to waste some time. It squirts free, side of the net. Back to the blue line. Here's a drive, save made. Bouncing puck clear to the blue line. And Horan carries it out to center ice. And he'll dump it from the red line deep. Puck in behind the net. Bixby stops it. But he can't control it. Now bounces all the way down the ice into the Massena zone. Stopped by Meacham behind the net. He'll leave it side of the net, but it bounces around as Horan almost had a piece of it. Comes along the boards. There's a battle there. Horan and Michaud, and finally they tie it up, and we'll have a face-off inside Massena territory. 59 seconds left of the man advantage. 4:24 in the third period. Raiders lead by 2.
Talk about position, goaltenders playing the angle, good position, square to the shooter, etc. That time, one of the biggest saves of Matt Meacham's night tonight, and I don't think he saw the puck, but he was positioned well. It came back to the point, and Dylan Kinch cranked one up through some traffic. Meacham came way out, didn't see the puck, but made the save. It hit him, but good position by Matt Meacham.
I think the Devils are going to call a timeout here with 4:24 left in the third period. On the power play, still 59 seconds of power play, and the face-off in the Massena zone.
As we Canton Golden Bears 2-2, but I tell you, they, I don't know if they, who needs one more, the team or Coach Latham. You know, he puts his heart and soul into it, and he's really kind of down somewhat. And he, a big win here tonight. He's not as philosophical as Coach Barlow. We had a nice chat with him before the games we mentioned. He's quite a guy, but he does an excellent job coaching the Blue Devil.
Well, it's 2 games in a row. The Raiders have scored 6. Maybe that's a good sign. Trouble is, they're giving up too many.
Yeah, that's they had problems all year long finding the back of that net, but 2 in a row scoring 6. We hope this outcome is a little better than the last one when they scored 6.
Yeah.
But,
still a lot of time left, Coach.
After tonight, we mentioned the Raiders off until the 26th. That's next week from Friday. The Rome Black Knights are in town, and then on the 27th, the 4th-ranked or 3rd-ranked Oswego Buccaneers.
That's correct. That'll be a good opportunity to see some great high school hockey, and then Potsdam on Wednesday, the 31st. At Pine Street.
At Pine Street.
We can hope for a January thaw, Coach.
At the Icebox.
Face off in the Massena zone. Off the draw. Puck along the boards. Devils control. Out by the blue line as they move it around. And St. Lawrence won their game. Here's a shot right across the goal mouth. Oh, great open net. And the Devils missed it. Raiders clear it out to center ice. Down the ice it goes. So St. Lawrence beat Potsdam. 4-3 in overtime. How about that, huh?
Well, that's a break for the Raiders. A big help.
Actually, it is, yes. And here comes Ogdensburg out to center ice. And at the blue line, it trickles in the zone. Here's a chance. Save made. Meacham. Puck in the corner. 25 seconds left, the man advantage. Puck dumped deep. In behind the net. 20 seconds left. Around the boards it goes. Controlled by Wilson. Back to the point. Here's a drive up in the wall. And that was deflected by Ryan Ramo, and the faceoff will move out by the blue line with 14 seconds left in the man advantage. 3:39. So was that 5-4 in overtime? Is that what she said?
I didn't pick it up, Jerry, but I'll tell you,
I think.
The Devils came within a whisker, making this 6-5 as Dan Weir's parked right off the crease to the left of Matt Meacham, and I think that was Drew Johnson from the point. Either a shot or a pass, and if Weirs controls that, he's got a wide open net, and he just couldn't handle that puck.
Whitcup will take the face-off against Duval. And they battle for the draw. Raiders come up with it. Levine. And Levine's had a heck of a game for Massena here this evening. This might be his best game of the year.
Real strong game for Chris Levine.
The puck comes all the way out to center ice. Penalties elapsed, so the Raiders kill one off here. But again, here they come. Levine again. He'll fire it deep in Ogdensburg territory. Puck in behind the net. Picked up by the Devils as they move it around the horn to the blue line. Out to center ice. They had a man breaking. Oh, my goodness. The Raiders almost got caught. Here comes Levine. Across the blue line. Whitcup follows. Takes it in front. The shot. Save made. Rebound in behind the net. And it bounces to the blue line out to center ice. Now, what is that you always say, Coach?
Balance.
They don't need another goal.
They don't need another. That's right.
Now you got to, pick up your wings and don't get caught up ice. Puck trickles out to center ice. Raiders control it, drop it back. Horan to Levine, and that's going to be icing. And Chris had a chance to touch it and didn't, and face-off will move back in the Massena zone. 2:40 left in the third period. Raiders with a 2-goal, 6-4 lead on the Corky's Collision scoreboard.
Raider defense almost got caught on not
boy.
balancing the ice when the weak side defenseman got caught up in watching the play and drifted towards the strong side, and the Blue Devil wing got in behind him, and if that puck gets through there,
You got to be kidding me.
he's wide open from the blue line.
Norfolk was leading Canton 1-0 in the second period. Here comes Massena, back the other way. Job almost had the break. Now the puck poke check. Good play by Converse. To Converse in front, backhander goes just wide. Chris Converse just made an outstanding hockey play. Here comes the Raiders back the other way. Converse again. He'll just dump it deep. Puck in behind the Ogdensburg net in the corner. Wood just throws a check. Converse picks up the loose puck, throws a check. The puck bounces free. Side of the net, Converse steals it again, but he can't control it. And the puck trickles out to center ice. Barging down the ice. Here comes Ogdensburg across the blue line. They get a man free in front, but it's going to come in on Meacham, and he'll hold on for the faceoff. With 1:59 left in the third period, the Raiders have a 6-4 lead.
Chris Converse, you never accuse him of not some penalties that I'm sure that Coach Latham wish he wouldn't, but I'll tell you, he just gives you 110 out there all the time. He's always digging, always working.
Ramos line out there off the draw, puck in the circle, controlled by Horan behind the net. Here comes Kevin. He's going to lug it out to center ice. Long headman pass, just deflected by Aaron Michaud. In the corner, Ryan Ramo after it. Centering pass goes all the way back to the point. Sidden doesn't keep it in. He'll trickle back to center ice. Flipping it ahead into the Ogdensburg zone. Picked up by the Devils. Moving it to the Massena line. Inside Massena territory. Here's a drop pass in the corner. Minute and a half left. Raiders by 2. Horan throws a check, flips the puck. Kevin Horan's had a strong game tonight. Maybe his best of the year. Horan moves it ahead. Just banks it out to the neutral zone. Back in across. And there's a battle right at the blue line. The puck trickles to the Ogdensburg zone. Picked up there by Garvey. Garvey's headman doesn't get out of the zone. Now it trickles out to center ice. 1:07 left. Puck to the Massena line. Right back out again to center ice. With 1 minute left, dump back inside Massena territory. Devils have to get onside. And we have a whistle. What do we got?
We got a penalty against Dan Weirs and maybe somebody on the Raider bench over there. I'm not sure which one, but I think they're each going to pick up a penalty.
I didn't see it.
Well, I did. Dan Weirs got drilled on the blue line, and then he ended up close to the Raider bench, and he took exception to something that was said over there. I'm not sure. Let's see if it's going to be, is it number 5? Is that, couldn't be Ike Bogosian, could it?
No.
Well, anyway, somebody on the bench in Weirs had a little set to. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, they're going to be matching minors.
We'll wait and see who's coming across.
Now, it's going to be Aaron LeDuc.
Oh, well, okay.
It might just be a bench minor because they may not have known who.
That could very well be, but somebody on the bench over there, and Dan Weirs. Weirs gave him a little shot, and the Raider player gave a return, and Mel Tamalti was standing right there.
So, face-off will be top of the circle, Massena zone on the 2 penalties. And 55 seconds remaining in the third period, 6-4, Massena leading the Berg.
Bad penalty, especially for the Berg to take at this stage, because Weirs is one of their guns.
Aaron Michaud wins the face-off, has it poke checked away, back toward the blue line, bounces, kept in nice. No, I guess it got out of the zone. That was a close one, but Mel Tomelty right at the line, and I think it did come in the air over the line and out to center ice.
Marvelous Mel, again, good position right there. Might have lost a half a step in the speed. He's only down to about 60 miles an hour now, but he's got the good eyes.
And there's no substitute for experience, Coach.
You bet.
Off the face-off, the puck just inside the Massena zone. Michaud with it, flips it ahead, doesn't clear. Turned around, 37 seconds in the corner. Puck right across the goal mouth, and the goaltender Meacham gets a piece of it. The Raiders move it ahead to the neutral zone. Here's an opportunity for Levine for the hat trick. Oh, and he is knocked down from behind. Oh boy, Scott Wilson gets the penalty. I think they're going to give him a penalty shot.
Well, that's what the Raiders want. They want a penalty shot. I don't know, that would be a borderline call, but they're going to call a penalty shot. And Chris Levine's got a chance for his hat trick here on a penalty shot. Wouldn't that be something?
For the hat trick.
Yeah, with 25 seconds left. Yeah, the Raiders immediately call for a penalty. That was a borderline call, but Mel Tamalti,
well,
I think he gave the Raiders a break on that one.
Let's see, 25 seconds left, a 2-goal lead. It's going to be a penalty one way or the other.
One way or the other, but Chris Levine, what a thrill, trying for his hat trick and on a penalty shot. We'll wait and see. The puck's at center ice. No one talking to Chris Levine. They don't want to stone him here, and he's kind of said, I'm going to show you my moves that I do in practice. You know, the one that
well, we'll see. Who wins this battle? Mano a mano.
Well, Andy Bixby was... let me at him. Here we go. It's not going to decide the outcome of the game, but I'll tell you, not too often you get a penalty shot in any level of hockey. Here we go. And
here comes Chris, and he breaks across the blue line. Bixby comes out, Chris points, shoots, save made by Bixby.
Oh, Chris, what's this? What's this hot dog move? He points at the goaltender. What's that? I have never seen that in my life. Coming down, he points at goal. He's got the puck, and he points at goaltender Andy Bixby from about 30 feet out. He should have had both hands on the stick. Never mind that pointing stuff, but
well,
maybe he was indicating I'm going to go top upstairs.
He did.
Stick
he went
size.
right at him.
He did. He went right at him, but I think he was probably. It might have been his first penalty shot, and he was more mesmerized by that than anything else. But
25 seconds left. Raiders up by 2. Off the face-off. The draw won by Tubolino. Now it's stolen away, comes out to the blue line. 18 seconds, still in the zone. Raiders still have it. Here's Katanzari barging through. Gets a shot on the rebound. Hits the side of the net. And there's a battle in behind. That was Sidden. Where's the puck in the corner? Nobody knows where it is. 5 seconds left. And that's going to about run out the whistle blows. I guess that's it.
And the referee down there, young Mr. Larrabee, doing an excellent job. They got a little testy at the end.